Right, good afternoon, everyone. This meeting is being recorded. Got it. Boom. All right. Um, it's good to see faces and it's good to see names, but I don't see your faces. If you don't mind showing your face, then do so. It's all good. I like to be able to, it's just good to be able to see the smiles and the inquisitive looks, or maybe they're like, what in the world is she talking about? Even those kind of looks are really good for me. It helps to guide me, and it can also be very motivating. So by way of introduction, my name is Gina Levon-Simpson. Oh, you are viewing the sharing and the share to the thing. And okay, move that out of the way. Boom. What are you doing there? Let's just get, oh, hello there. We're back.
Yes.
And we're back. And let me see if I can do this since we're back. Let me put this up since we are, boom, back. And move with it. All right. So my name, Gina Levon-Simpson. It is so good to be here. I am the mother of two honey bronze jewels, my Janita and my Malik. I am the mother in love of two divine ebony, delightful son and daughter-in-laws, my Shakira and my Victor. I am also the Uma, the Gogo, the abuela, the grandma, the grandmama to a mocha dewdrop, born 1 pound, 10 ounces, a bubbling brown sugar dumpling, a sweet potato pie, a cocoa cream cupcake, and a chocolate chip caramel cookie bar. Those are my grandchildren, and I have given them titles. I also work in a number of different capacities in the community, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. I work for Child and Family Guidance. I'm the lead teacher and a national consultant and trainer for the Children's Leadership Training Institute. I am a storyteller. I'm a writer, director, and poet, and all that kind of good stuff. And you'll find all those things. You'll get a taste of all those things as we are talking together. I'm going to go through just some things, just some tips where we're talking about to stress less during the holiday season, just touching on a few things. And in so doing, afterwards, or maybe in the midst of, if you have any questions, and I may be asking you for your thoughts and ideas, because there is no one person that knows everything, and I glean from everyone that I engage and I come in contact with. So having said those things, I would just move on. When we're talking about de-stressing or stress less, whether it's during a holiday season or anytime, I want to be able to take the opportunity to have us to do that right now. Some of you are probably super busy. Wait a minute. If you are a parent, you are super busy being a parent, as well as doing other things that you have to engage and do during your life. So what I want to do is I just want to start off by honoring you all. And by doing that, I'm hoping that this thing will work. There you go. Okay, here we go. This is a Zulu term, and it's pronounced sobona, sobona. Sobona means welcome. It means I see you. It means it recognizes your worth. It recognizes your value, sobona. And I'd like to say that to all of you, sobona. I want to be able to recognize who you are, your value, and your dignity in our community and in the lives of your children or whomever you might engage in life. While I try to turn this thing down because it's getting on my, okay, good. So what I want to do is I want to take the time for us to be able to, and I do this with pretty much every presentation that I give, I want us to be able to take the time to take care of ourselves, even if it's only for a minute, even if it's only for 30 seconds, but I think we'll be able to do for about a minute or so. I want us to be able to take the time to stop, to think of at least 5 areas of gratitude. I want us to stop and breathe, to think of the importance of laughter, that we have the ability to reason, and we have a good measure of health, or anything else that you can think of, just think of 5 areas of gratitude. So I want you to take the time to do that now. I have my handy dandy djembe drum, one of them anyway. And as I play the drum, I just want you to take the opportunity to breathe. Take this time. Rarely do we go to a meeting and start the meeting off meditating or breathing. But I think that's something that everyone should do, irregardless of the type of meeting that it is. So let's do that now. So please close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in and hold it, and then blow out slowly and release any type of negative thoughts that you may have. And when you breathe in, just breathe in those good vibrations, those good things, the good areas of gratitude that you have. And continue to do that until, so I say so otherwise. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out. In, breathe out. Breathe in, peace of mind. Frustration. Breathe in, breathe out. As you're breathing, any thought that might be negative happens. Just let it flow out of your mind. Think of anything positive. Smile of your child's face, walking down by Seaside Park. Whatever brings you joy. In, hold it. Out. 3 more times. Breathe in. In. Time. In. Big, refreshing breath. Beautiful, beautiful. I tend to carry my drum with me. I even had one in the car that I take all the time. So let's move on. Thank you for that time. Again, Sobona, I recognize you. You are worthy. You are worthy of dignity. When we talk about stressing less for the holidays, because I'm not a miracle worker, so I can't say that you will not have any stress at all during this holiday season or during any time of your life. But I want us to be able to recognize how our body feels when we start to take on that stress, and then know what to do to release a good amount of that stress. And part of that is through our personal awareness of ourselves. So I want us just to today, just to take a little time to unpack and understand our own thoughts, our thoughts about ourselves, our thoughts about our life in this particular season and where we are. And that's some of what we're going to do today. We really want to be able to take a thought of that, unpack those things. And to unpack, I hear that term a lot. And sometimes just recently I thought about, when I saw the word unpack, I thought about, I had just come back from checking on my mom about 2.5 weeks ago, and with my little suitcases. And I came to unpack them. I set them in, one of them is still sitting in my bedroom, still not thoroughly unpacked. And I have to remove some of those things that are in there so that I can get that little suitcase and put it in the closet, so I stop tripping over it at night. So so we want to unpack some things because we recognize what's there. And sometimes I have packed some things in that little suitcase that I forgot was even in there. And now I'm looking for it, and oh, there it is, right there in the suitcase. And so so it's helpful for us when we unpack some things, so we have a greater understanding of our own thoughts, of our own ideas. And so that's what I want us to do today, just that personal awareness of who we are, what our thoughts are, and what we are thinking, what we're thinking, what we're going through during this particular season. For some people, this season is not, this holiday season is different for others. Some people don't celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or Christmas or even Thanksgiving. But it's still good for us to know, because we all go through stressful things during our life. So one of the things I want us to consider while I'm talking and you're listening, and you will be talking and engaging in a little bit, it's very important to plan your work your plan. Do what you can what you do. We're going to be touching on some of these type of things. Many times during the holidays, there's certain memories that come up that we typically don't deal with or talk about during the rest of the year. Or if we do, it means something different during the holiday season. And so we're going to talk about those memories. So we want you to think about those memories, whether it be the memories about family, memories about events that happened during this time since you were a child, certain reminders that come up during this time. And we want to talk about support. When we talk about plan your work and work your plan, how can you get the support that you need during this time? How do you think on hope for the future because of everything that we have been going through in our lives prior to COVID and since COVID and during the holidays? And also control. What type of control do you have? What does it mean to have control? What does control mean to you? These are things that we're going to be talking about. And when we discuss these particular things, and when I give the tips about these things, I want you to, in the back of your mind, and even if you're writing these things down, plan your work and work your plan. The holiday, Christmas and New Year's and Kwanzaa, it's not here yet. So we still have a little bit of time to plan our work and to work our plan. If you decide that there's something different that you can do that's going to be less stressful for you and also less stressful for your family. Moving right along. So I'd like for us to stress less. Let's think about those of you who are going to visit family members. If you've been grieving either the loss of a loved one, if you've been grieving, you've lost a job, if you've been grieving the loss of sufficient income, if you've been grieving no matter in what area of your life, and you decide that, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to pay a visit to my family, but I don't think I can handle staying here for so long because of what I'm going through. Because of COVID, I lost a family member, or because of COVID, I had to move, and now I'm living in a different town or city, and I'm not as close to family. So I'm grieving that, and I don't feel like, I really don't want to go to Uncle Bubba's house because they're always so loud, and I just need some quiet time, and I just want to be alone. And that can be good because you get a chance to process, but it's not good to do on a continual basis, and it's not good to do all the time, because avoiding people, it's tempting to avoid people and to stay at home. And it may be good for you for a moment, but it might not be good for the rest of your family. It might not be good for your children. So all of those particular thoughts are understandable. It's also very normal. But isolating yourself is not the greatest idea, especially during holidays, because it can prevent you from moving forward. It can prevent you from seeing what you can do differently to be part of your healing process. So if you are in that place where you like, look, I lost my job. I'm living in a small 1-bedroom apartment where I'm accustomed to a 2.5-bedroom house because I lost my job. Um, I just don't feel like being around people. Try it just take the little baby steps. So say, okay, I'm just going to go for about 20 and 30 minutes. Okay, if you think that unhappy memories will arise, but actually when you get there, then you may start to have the happy thoughts or the fun thoughts, or, starting to think differently because of the people that are surrounding you. But if you decide that you're going to go there and you're only going to stay for 20 minutes to 30 minutes, maybe an hour, have a plan your work your plan. Who's going to be there who understands you, who, if you say something to them and say, you know what, I think it's time for me to go, they may encourage you to stay 10 more minutes, just stay 10 more minutes so we can, sing these carols or do whatever you're going to do, and then go on about your business. But then you can also let people know, hey, I'm not 100%. I needed to stop by. This is very important. This is about family. I needed to stop by, but I can't stay for so long. But I'm glad to be here. So if you're grieving those type of losses, consider still going, not isolating yourself completely. But another thing that you can do, and you have time to do this, is think of how you can volunteer, how you can help someone else in need. Once we start helping other people, it does something to us on the inside. It helps us to feel a little bit better, if not a lot better, about ourselves and what we're going through. It helps us to put things into perspective. Yes, I'm going through this particular loss, but I also can see where I can be helpful to someone else. If going to a family, spending time with a family, and it's just going to be extremely toxic, it's just not going to be good for me. I just got a divorce or whatever, and I don't want to hear it. Well, find another friend, find another family that you can actually be where it's not going to be toxic for you. These are just thoughts and ideas. You can take it and mix it with a thought that you have, or an idea that you have, whatever it is to make your life better, less stress for this particular season. Then think about this. Plan your work your plan. There are so many of us that have experienced loss, especially during COVID. And I can run off the top of my head about 35 to 40 people who have passed away since COVID, most because of COVID, some because of other things. I have to deal with those particular things, and I have to acknowledge that it has happened. We have children that are going through those things as well, who are missing people who have passed on and are no longer here. It's really important to allow our children, and I don't know how you talk about the cycle, the circle of life, and how things happen, and there are books to deal with it, but we need to give each other permission to feel what we feel. And yes, let our children know I give you permission. It's okay. I understand if you feel sad. That's normal. That's okay. That's the regular cycle of grieving. But it's also important that we are happy about the fun things or the funny things that we remember what happened in the life of the person that we're missing. So try to think of those funny things, create a little book, draw a little picture every now and then. Just think of something. Do you remember when, I mentioned Uncle Bubba. Do you remember when Uncle Bubba taught us how to go out when we lived in Memphis, Tennessee, and take those June bugs and tie a little string to the leg and swirl it around and make all those. Boy, that was absolutely ridiculous. I'd never do that again in my life, but it was fun when we did it. Those type of things too, and that really did happen. My Uncle Bubba and them taught us how to do that. But anyway, those kind of things are what we want to give permission to be able to feel the sad feelings, but also let's jump over to the happy feelings, the feelings that we felt when the fun things that happened when they were alive. And it may not be that someone has passed away. It could be that someone has moved because of COVID. They lost a job, but they're able to get a job now in California, and you're used to seeing them every now and then. I want us to consider how being around others helps us to move forward in the healing process. Even sometimes just being around coworkers can be helpful. There may be coworkers that they may not know anything that you're going through, but there's always somebody there who's always singing, who's always smiling, who always has something positive to say. Do your best to surround yourself with those people. It could be a neighbor, somebody in the neighborhood. Surround yourself with those people that bring you some type of joy, that makes you smile every now and again. One of the things that we don't do as often as we used to years ago are going around from house to house to sing carols, Christmas carols. We used to do that a lot, and I've been thinking about just doing that with my grandchildren. Now, I probably won't do it at night. I would probably do it on the weekend, and I would probably go to people directly in my neighborhood, people that I know. But that just might be something good to do. You just put a smile on somebody else's face, and then in turn will put a smile on yours. Just a thought, just an idea. Plan your work your plan. Understand and know that we can't control what others say or think. If you decide to go to that family gathering, there's always trust. There's always somebody who's going to say something absolutely ridiculous. Girl, look like you done gained 50 pounds. Right, it's almost 50 pounds. Thank you for noticing. There's always something. But we can't control what other people are going to say as much as we would like to. I surely would love to. But we can take control of what we feel we are responsible for. So I am responsible for my actions. I cannot be 1000% responsible for my 2-year-old grandchild because she's 2 and she does 2-year-old type of things. But I am responsible for how she carries herself and how I work to guide her and to discipline her to make sure that she doesn't climb on top of my, look, listen. I went to visit my mom. I have 2 mothers. I went to visit the mom in Syracuse with my daughter, my son-in-law, and my 3 granddaughters. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter that I would not be surprised if I walked into my kitchen and she was standing on top of the refrigerator dancing. She's just adventurous. That's just who she is. My mom collects M&Ms. Some of them are toys. She has about 11 of them, okay, which means 61. She has about 11 of them. They're all sitting on the table in the middle of the living room. My granddaughter saw those. In her mind, she's like, it's time to play. Woo-hoo! In my mind, it's like, oh, dear Lord, don't break the toys, okay? So she did a pretty good job, but I had to, and she didn't understand, but she followed through, that she could not, although she touched it, okay, move your hand, Coleman said, move your hand, move your hand. No, 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 no. Boop, boop, boop. Move your hand, move your hand. And she did a really good job. But it was her mom and dad were there too, but still, I felt I was responsible to keep her from taking, because she will take something and when she's finished with it, she'll throw it across her back. Up, finish with that one. And I didn't want her to break anything. So just know what you can control and know that you cannot control what other people are going to say and think. Prepare yourself, build your shield for when that auntie or uncle who always talks about who's fat and who's not and who's too skinny and who whatever, that kind of thing. You already know what's going to happen. Be ready for it. Try not to let it bother you. Take control of yourself. So we want to stress less. Part of the things that can be stressful for us is buying gifts. That can put a lot of pressure on a parent or parents, irregardless of what type of money they make, because we do have bills. We need to pay those bills. We still need to pay our rent and keep lights and gas on and all that type of good stuff during the holiday season. We also want to give to our children. But I want us, before we start spending, and some people have already spent some money, I know, because people have planned their work and worked their plan. But I want us to think about, do money and things actually define who we are? Do money and things define you? If you don't, if you mean something to somebody else because you have money in your pocket, what does that really mean? Do they really appreciate you for who you are, or do they appreciate you for money and things? Think about what life experiences actually define who you are. What's your story? Where have you come from? Where were you born? What did your family go through? What type of personality, what molded your personality? Your life experiences are what molded you and help you to be the person that you are. And if money and things are part of what that is, and then you don't have that, then what you have to do is you have to go back and take inventory again, because you started relying too much on the money and the things. Now we need the money and the things. We need food, we need shelter, we need utilities. There are things that we do need, and in order to get the food and the shelter, that we do need the money. But does that define who you are? If I live in a 5-bedroom house, and then I end up having to move because there was a fire, and we pray for those who just did the fires left and right just recently. But if I have to move and stay in a studio apartment, does that define who I am? Because I no longer live in a 5-bedroom mansion or a 5-bedroom house. To me, it's a mansion if it's 5 bedrooms. That's just me. I will still be just as creative. I will still be just as caring for others in my community. I will still have a love for children. I will still be just as silly as I don't know what. I will still be artistic. I will still be spiritual. I will still, those particular things I will miss. I will grieve what I did not have. But that does not define who I am. If I have a 5-bedroom house, I would utilize that to store things so I can give to the community, to have different people over so I can teach them how to draw, I can teach them how to do poetry, there are things that I will do with that house. That house will not define who I am, but it will be an opportunity for me. I got excited. Did you hear that? I got an opportunity. Oh, yeah. An opportunity for me to do me, to understand who I am, to do the things that I need to do. So it's very, very important not to compare ourselves to others. What's that show? Something about the Kardashians. Um, it's like for us, we used to say, comparing ourselves to the Joneses. But then there was that show about, the Kardashians, and we don't want to compare ourselves to others. We want to be able to look within and say, okay, I don't have that. That's good. That's cool. That's them. But this is what I do have. Make the most of what you do have. Now, I work as a clinician, and I worked prior to that, I worked as a leadership outreach worker for the Board of Education Parent Center for about 25 years. Before I got that job, and even when I had that job, I was part-time. I was only working 3 days a week, $8,000 a year, 2 children. Not a lot of money. And when Christmas came around, I remember one year, I didn't have much. My cousin didn't have much. We talked on the phone. This was before cell phones, y'all. And I said, okay, this is what I had. I have like about 3 cans of pork and beans, and I can go and stop by the store and I'll get some hot dogs or something. She said, I have rice. And I was like, okay, cool. So what we did was I got in my little Mustang. The stores were closed except for a corner store. So I went in there and I found the last thing of package of hot dogs. And I got that and I went to my cousin's house. How many children did she have? She had about 4 children then, and I had my 2. We put those can of pork and beans together, chopped up some onions and some green bell peppers. She threw some brown sugar in it. Never had it with brown sugar in it. That was pretty good. She made her rice. We chopped up the hot dogs. We made it, and we had a feast with some Jell-O for dessert. I'm telling you, that was one of the best times that I had. No turkey, no dressing. We didn't have a lot of we didn't get exchange gifts, none of that. We just made it about family, about ourselves. So make the most of what you already have. And please let us not compare ourselves to others. And try not to compare ourselves to what used to be if we used to have some of everything and had 5,000 gifts in the house. So make the holiday about people and not so much about our gifts. And I say not so much because we are gifts to each other. We are gifts to each other. Do things differently. Okay, so, all right, so every year we go and we get, this is just a thought, an idea. Every year somebody goes and they have a Christmas tree. They go out and they find a Christmas tree. They pray for the Christmas tree. Somebody chops a Christmas tree down, or they go to get the Christmas tree, the live Christmas trees, and they bring it every year. And the living room smells like pine, and everything's just fresh and all that kind of stuff. And create your own traditions. You don't have enough money to buy a fake Christmas tree. You don't have enough money to buy a real one, or a fake one, or a live one. Make your own Christmas tree. That's what my children and I did one year. I got pieces of paper and I taped them up on the wall to make it was like 3 feet in height. And we drew a Christmas tree on the paper and colored it in. They drew their ornaments and all that kind of stuff. And whatever little bit of gifts that I had, that's what I did. I put it on the floor in front of that Christmas tree that we drew and had a good time doing. So do things different. Create your own traditions. There's something that I started that year. I'm going to mention this again, but it's okay. That particular year that we didn't have a Christmas tree, and I had maybe about 2 or 3 little things. What I did was I hid them. I remember I hid one in the washing machine. That was my son's gift. And I hid another of my daughter's someplace else. And we played this game, hot, cold. So they had to go and find it. And we had a real good time for them finding those gifts. I did that. I think my son may have been 5 years old and my daughter was 7. Yep, 5 or 7. I think that was just I think that was just as I started working for ABCD some 30 some odd years ago. 30 some odd years ago, I started doing that. We do the same thing. That was 30 some odd years ago. I still hide gifts from my children. Of course, they're not big gifts. I usually just give them, like, write a check or something like that. And I wrap it up and I hide it in plants underneath, tape it underneath the sofa, uh, put it whatever it is, and we play hot and go cold. When they get close to it, you're getting hot, you're warm, you're warm, you're warmer. Oh, you're almost burning up, you're almost burning up. So we play hot and cold. My son has moved to Georgia and his family. I have sent little cards to my grandson, and it's his responsibility to hide those little cards. I'm going to cash app them once they find them. He has to hide those cards either in his bedroom. They'll probably never find it in his bedroom. I'm just saying they might never find it. But anyway, they're going to need to hide it. He needs to hide it in their bedroom, in his bedroom, and they're going to play hot and cold. And once they find it, then we're going to FaceTime, and then I'm going to cash app them. But we still do hot and cold. That's a tradition that I started. Nobody in our family ever did it, but I didn't have a lot of gifts. So that's what I did. So stay within your budget. Know what your budget is. If you are crafty, make some stuff, sell some stuff to bring in a little extra money, babysit somebody, that type of thing. But stay within your budget. Now, Star Wars. I'm not going to give you a Star Wars story, but I'm going to tell you a story about when my son was about 9 years old and my daughter was 11. And I was out of a job. And I did not have much money at all. I did not want to, I didn't want to apply for TANF. They call it TANF now, but state assistance. I didn't want to apply for food stamps because of my pride, but I really needed to because I lost my job and I was working cleaning a building out in Southport, and I wasn't making a lot of money at all. Maybe about $50 a week, maybe $200. I did anything. I illustrated, I painted, I sell a painting for $30. I do whatever. I babysat. I did whatever I could to bring in some money. But I didn't have a lot of money at all for my children to get anything. So what I did at that time downtown was the Salvation Army. Salvation Army, I walked down to where I lived. From where I lived, it was about a 20-minute walk. I walked downtown and I looked in Salvation Army to see what I could find. And I saw this huge thing, Star Wars spacecraft thingy or whatever. It was huge. And I was like, oh man, it was about $7. And I saw this other aircraft thing that the planes, Navy thing that the planes would if they were out in the ocean, they take off from that strip that was on the ship. And I asked them how much it cost, and they let me know how much it cost, and I needed to bring it home. So I said, I'm coming back for this. This thing was humongous. Put it aside. I need to go home and get garbage bags. So I got like the 33 thing garbage bag. And I walked home 20 minutes. I walked back another 20 minutes. I got that big old thing and both of those things, and I stuffed them in that big old garbage bag and walked home with it, holding it over my head. I set it on top of my head and held it and walked. I stopped, I rested, I said, walk back home. Probably took me 25 minutes to walk back home. I took that bad boy and I put it in the tub. I turned the water on. I scrub-a-dub-dub. This Star Wars thing is in the tub, rubbing it, scrubbing it inside, outside, every nook and cranny. Take a toothbrush, clean that baby up, took it off, dried it off, put it back in the garbage bag, put it back in my room, along with that other thing that I bought. And then I went to the store and I bought some wrapping paper. I wrapped up their gifts. I put it in the thing, a very small gift that I had. We did the hot and cold thing, and then they opened the gifts. When my son saw that thing, he had no clue. that it only cost like $7. He was as happy as a pig in slop. He was as happy as a bird that found some worms on the ground. He was as happy as I don't know what. He had no clue, but I had to stay within my budget. And so that's what I did. He was as happy as I don't know what. And I carried those things home and thought about my son and thought about how I can use what I had, stay within my means, still had to pay my rent, still had to pay my lights and gas, still had to make sure that there was some kind of food in the house. That stayed within my means to do whatever it is that I needed to do. And you cannot tell me any different that that boy right there in that picture was not as happy as he could be with a $7 gift that I had to rub and scrub and disinfect and make sure that it was all right for him to play with. There him is. So there are things that we can do to stay within our budget. One of the things that I've done in the past, I have a friend who, until she recently retired, was a GE executive, and they make some good money, GE executives, and she made a whole lot more money than I did. But I always wanted to do something for her, and I had to think of what is it that I can do for her that I can give her as a gift, because that's what we want to do. So what I did was, we have up here, make gift card for each other. What I did was I made gift certificates, and I made a book of gift certificates for her that I would give her a foot massage. One of the things I love to do with my friends is give them massages, back massage, shoulder massage, Sasha massages, or however you pronounce it, back massage, all that kind of good stuff. I like to give and foot massages. And so I made a little coupon book of different massage. So we have either I'm going to cook a meal for her. Another part, a certificate was a foot massage, whatever. Now, she used to live in Connecticut. She no longer lives, she lives in Chicago now. She moved from Connecticut, lived in Kentucky, lived in Wisconsin, and now in Chicago. That was like 14 years ago. Do you know she still has those coupons? And when she says that she's coming to Bridgeport, she flicks them and says, I wonder which one of them I'm going to. I forgot that she still had them. I thought I used them all up. No, there are about 4 of those bad boys that she still has. And trust me, she will make use of them. So be creative. Make gift cards for each other. All right. Make them, draw them. This will be part of what you're doing while they are out of school or whatever. You get some cardboard, get some card stock, just cut and have them create their own little gift cards for you and you for them. It could be that one day you're going to make their favorite pie, their favorite dessert, their favorite meal. One day a sister will, like my children used to do, my daughter would say, okay, you wash dishes this week, I got you this weekend, 5 days you wash the dishes, on the weekend I'll wash your dishes for you. Those type of things. Just be creative and make it fun. Make those gift cards and wrap them up. Play hot cold. Play games with small prizes as winners. Okay, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, Simon Says, and just have little things. You have a little thing of M&Ms. If you won with Simon Says, you get 5 M&Ms. Okay, let's try it again. I want to get 10 M&Ms. Well, I want to eat M&Ms, and make it fun. Small prizes, little stickers, almonds. Fun. I said raisins and Snickers and stickers, and I like the Snickers part and the M&Ms part. But if you want to be healthy, then do something else. But have little small prizes for them. Do the treasure hunt gift thing that I mentioned before. That's another thing that you can do. Holiday Guess Who. Now, it's one of those kind of things where you put names on a piece of paper, fold it up, and then put the piece of paper in a hat, in a box, in a bowl or whatever. And then everybody pulls from that. And then they take the name and tape it to like the top of their head where they can't see it, but everybody else can. So I just took a name. I can't see it because the only thing I can see is the screen. And you put it on top of your head. And then the person who has the name on the top of the head, then like me, then I have to start asking questions about who this person is. I'm going to try it. I can't see myself, but I want to know, I want to have just one volunteer who knows whoever name this person is. I have about 4 names. So one volunteer to unmute themselves. And when you unmute yourself, tell me your name.
Hi, this is Bianca Price.
Hi, Bianca, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Do you know this person? Don't tell me their name. Do you know this person?
So I honestly cannot see. If you come forward a bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see the person's name.
Do you know who that person is?
No, I don't.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bianca. I'm going to ask somebody
Okay.
who knows who this person is to unmute yourself and tell me your name.
I'll do it. All right, Gina, it's Marie Rock.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
I wrote down about 5 different names and I picked this one.
Okay.
So is this person Caucasian?
No.
Okay. That narrows it down. Is this person, I'm 5'2". Is this person taller than me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then that alleviates Flora Harris and that alleviates Dawn. Is this person like a mama figure?
Yes.
Barbara Baldwin.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. See, I had Flora, I had Marie, I had you, Marie. I had Barbara Baldwin. So cool. So those are kind of things that you can play. I mean, I could have asked, do they talk in a squeaky voice? That would have been Flora. To me, that's a squeaky. She has more of a squeaky voice than all the other people that were in there. So those are kind of things that you can do. It helps to pass the time so that you're not thinking about, I wish we had 200 gifts and we only have 10, that type of thing. Personal Pictionary. And the personal Pictionary is another thing where you put the names in the well, it could be names, it could be places that people that this is good stuff to do, as a staff as well. Irregardless of what the season is, you could start off a meeting just doing these type of things. But your personal Pictionary, where you draw a picture of whomever. So if somebody was drawing a picture of me, they may draw a face, glasses, and locks. Then people are like, oh, okay, we got it. We know who that is. That kind of thing. Look, and Google stuff, magic tricks, especially when you have the little ones. You can play all kind of, man, I'm telling you, my 2-year-old granddaughter, I can trick her with some of everything. She thinks I'm a magician. But then I also have a 4-year-old granddaughter who does magic tricks for me. And I know exactly what she's doing, but I ain't telling her nothing because to her, she's a wonderful magician and she does magic tricks. So these are things that help to build your family. And also, this is fun things traditions that you can start to do. And it's less stress because it's hilarious, it's fun, all that kind of stuff. 2 truths and a lie. And I'm hoping that what your children are telling you, that when you find out it's the truth, that it's not a truth that you're going to say, oh my God, you did that to your room. But 2 truths and a lie. That's another thing that you can do. Another idea is photo. I'm gonna read some of these things, and then I want to hear from you all. What ideas that you can do, what you have done. Photo scavenger hunt. Now, This can be done a couple of ways. If it's a good day, because sometimes it snows, and sometimes it snows is a real good day outside, but you could do a photo scavenger hunt where you're taking selfies, and you make a list of what it is that you need to find. Take a selfie of you standing by a red car. Take a selfie of you standing by an orange lamp. Take a selfie of the person who gets it quick, you know, is the person that wins. Or your photo scavenger hunt is like, all right, so everybody has a phone. This is mostly for whoever has a phone, of course. You can be teams. So if you have somebody who's 5-year-old, they don't have a phone, then they're paired with you and they're part of your team. And then you have somebody else with a 10-year-old, and that 10-year-old and that adult who has a phone, or teen who has a phone, that's them. And then somebody saying, you write down on a piece of paper what it is that you're looking for in the pictures. And then you give you, so the first thing that you're looking for is a picture of somebody with a funny face. So everybody has to go through their photos, and the first person who finds the photo of somebody with a funny face, whether it's a selfie or whether it's somebody else, then they're the one that wins those 3 M&Ms. Then the second thing on your list, the first person who can find a picture that has a blue car in the background, then they win 5 M&Ms or raisins or whatever. I just like M&Ms. You flip through to find out who does that. The first person who finds a baby picture of so-and-so, then they get the M&Ms. Yeah, so those kind of things. Make a use of what you have. Do the best that you can. Hide and seek is really fun with the little ones, whether you're hide and seeking outside or whether you're hiding and seeking on the inside the house. Do the hide and seek. I don't know how we do this. I have no clue, but my granddaughter does hide and seek with me, and she's in Georgia, and I have to figure out where she is. FaceTime, via FaceTime. There was one time she was playing hide and seek with me. She's 4 years old now, but she was, when COVID started, she was about 2 years old. She was 2 years old. And she would hide the phone. Now I had to try to figure out where she was. Well, once she hid the phone, and it was in between the cushions on the sofa. And I heard her saying, it was dark, and I heard her saying, they call me Akoma. Akoma is a deeper symbol shaped like a heart, and it means peace. Peaceful, it means temperate, it means patience, it means love. She's calling my name, Akoma, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And she sounded as if she was in distress. And I said to myself, oh my God, she hid the phone and she doesn't even know where the phone is. She cannot find me. And I felt as if I was lost. I was lost and I could not be found. And so I started calling, screaming to the top of my lungs, calling for her mom because I felt that she lost the phone. So, Shakira, Shakira, Shakira. And I hear Shakira. She said, yes, Maji. She calls me Maji. Yeah, Maji. And I was like, I was getting ready to tell her that the baby lost the phone. And my granddaughter picked up the phone and looked at me with a look of total disgust, as if to say, how dare you call my mother? I knew where this phone was all along. And I see Shakira standing with me. She said, what is it? I said, never mind. She found it. And then Shakira went on about her business. So we play hide and seek, and she's not even here. She had me feeling as if I was really lost, the little child. But I digress. You can build things with toilet paper rolls. Make ornaments with them. Put stickers on them, or draw little things and color it in. Draw faces on it. Let me make a face. Make your own little puppets and hang it on the tree. Save your boxes and make houses out of them, forts, little cars, these kind of things that you can do. And believe it or not, it's time consuming. Make snowflakes. I don't know, I used to, boy, this is good. I'm gonna do this with my children, with my adult children and my grandchildren. Make snowflakes, put them on a window. You can go online and figure out how to do it, but it's a lot of fun. And I can show you how to do it too. I might just do that before we finish. So there are a lot of different things that you can do. You can build a fort. You can use more than one box. There are boxes all over the place. People are getting stuff from Amazon and some everything. Just tell them, hey, save your boxes. I need to use, you have enough time. Save your boxes. I need to use it for something. Go to the store, find some boxes. You could build some things with it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then I want to get thoughts and ideas from you all. And I want to tell you just a little bit more about what I do for my job. But this is, I actually have 5 houses. My grandchildren have taken over my home. But if you look here, that's a doorbell. I went to Home Depot and bought a doorbell. They have doorbell, bing, bing, and the doors, there's a handle on there right here. They draw with a line where they want me to cut the door, and I cut the door. There's a window with a little curtain there. They decide what's going to go on their door. This is nothing but a tablecloth. These up here, that's a piece of a poster board that nobody used anymore. This is the solar panel. That's a little piece of something with aluminum foil on it. We cut the window right there, cellophane, wrap, boom, right there. That's a roll from tablecloth, plastic tablecloth, to keep the house, because they go in and out so often, to keep it from falling down and hold this up. This is just a tablecloth, 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 oh, tablecloth, 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 put the tablecloth on it, put it on. Oh, by the way, make up your own songs. Do stuff that's a lot of fun. When we talk about less stress, music, laughter, spending time together with people that are not toxic, all those kind of things, all those things help to relieve the stress of the holiday everyday life. But these have been put together. Now, you don't have to wait till Christmas to do this. You can start this now. These are washing machine boxes, but like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Oh, then I put the Christmas light, I put these lights on it, and Christmas time, I put these are on it all the time. When they spend the night, then we all sleep downstairs. I turn all the lights off, and this is the light that they have. Instead of a night light, I keep that on, but I put Christmas lights on them. That's just another view. Put Christmas lights on them during the Christmas season. And it's just all beautiful, and they help me put it up like they're really decorate. No, they are. These are their houses. It has their things in them. Oh Lord, this child will be 12 pretty soon, and she still uses her house. So these are wonderful things that you can do to help that's a lot of fun. It's creative, it's artistic, it helps you to laugh, it helps children to do something that's entirely different. And these things, like I said, my granddaughter was 6 when she did this, and she's going to be 12 pretty soon. So these are things that you can actually do, and I'm sure that you have your own ideas.
Gina? Hey, Gina, I'm sorry. We can't see your screen, so we don't see the stuff that you're showing.
You didn't see those houses?
No.
Oh my goodness gracious, why? That's odd. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do.
Did you hit the share screen button?
I did. You haven't seen anything?
No.
I did hit the share screen button. I was quite sure I did. Boom. Man.
There it is.
Okay, boom. Y'all saw that? Sawbona.
Now we can see your beautiful PowerPoint.
Man, okay, I'm gonna flip through this stuff. Boom. There we go. That's first. That's in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's what when we took our little breath. Oh boy, you should have sent me a text. I would have got it right. Could have got it right. I'm looking at my stuff and y'all didn't see a thing. I forgot to click the button. I do apologize. And now you can't see some of those things. No wonder you couldn't see when my son was cheesing back. Cause I didn't click on a that. Here we go. 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 That is so kind of that boy is. Now that's the thing that I carried. 25 minutes. It was in December and I was sweating to the oldies. But there him is. You couldn't tell me that boy wasn't happy. He looks the same except he has a beard. Scavenger hunt, magic tricks. And I believe this is going to be available for the parents as well, so you get a chance to see it. I'm finished with my thing, man. So there are the houses that I was talking about.
Yeah. But you know what, Gina? Sometimes it's good to hear it and then we can see it. So then that means you had everybody's full attention on you. Okay.
You know, yeah, make me feel better. Thank you so much. You're good. But there's a point to what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying. I hear you. Yeah, so there are the houses. So there we go. There's a doorbell. These are tablecloths. That little square up there. That's the solar panel. Windows, all this kind of stuff. That is so funny. And they're still in my dining room 6 years ago. This was 6 years ago. This one was 6 years ago. This was maybe 4 years ago, and the other one 3 years ago. And then I have another one too, but it's not in this picture. So, but these are creative things that can be done. Now, you may not be able to get a washing machine box. These two are washing machine boxes. These two are boxes I went to because every place I went to get a washing machine box, they were like, Miss, we need them. I went rent to center. We need them just in case, because somebody needs to see the boxes that they came in to make sure it's brand new. So I went to U-Haul and I got this box and got this box. And these are two poster boards that they were out on a wall advertising something. And when they were finished, then I just got them and cut holes in them and stuff like that. So these are things that you can, so if you can't get washing machine boxes, then you can go, maybe somebody just moved and got something, but there are boxes, you can make a tunnel with different boxes and decorate them. Yeah, so I showed you guys this, you were at least able to see that, right? There I am. So these are things that you can do on your own that really don't cost a lot of money, and they're so much fun, and they last for quite some time. My children, when they made the ornaments that particular year, I didn't feel like having a Christmas tree at all. And I was talking to my sister who was in California, and she was like, have them make ornaments. I was like, I can't afford, I don't feel like putting a Christmas tree up. She said, but what about the children? I was like, very good, valid point. So I got my old Christmas tree from the basement. They helped to put it up, and they made their own ornaments out of paper, out of toilet tissue rolls, and it lasted until all of us was sick and tired of the Christmas tree. But I started focusing on other things, because when I started focusing on more, it's more about the religious aspect for us, and it was more about family, then that's when I started focusing more on that and not so much on the gifts. And that made a big difference for me, because for them, you saw my son's face. he had no clue that that wasn't brand new. I didn't tell him, you know, this is not a brand new thing. But those particular things were not as important as us getting together with the pork and beans and the rice, you know, and the hot dogs and making the best of our life. So when we talk about having less stress, think of your story. We all have a story to tell. What is your story about? Recognize the importance of family, of unity, of togetherness. Harambe. I used to work for a place in Syracuse, New York, Westcott Youth Organization, and our motto was Harambe. Harambe means family, it means unity, it means togetherness. It means let's all pull together. And sometimes family are friends. Sometimes family are our coworkers. And so how do we de-stress? How do we release some of the stress? It's sometimes pulling together as family, pulling together as community. Realize and be honest. You know, I had to be honest with my children. I don't have a lot of money. You're not going to be able to get everything that you got last time. I'll be able to get you maybe one or two things. And after Christmas, guess what? That's when the sales come. Yeah, baby. You better believe we're going to have an after Christmas celebration. That's what's up. We're going to eat a little something now. You're going to get your one or two gifts. Well, after Christmas, we going to the mall. We're going to find some 50% off stuff. We're going to do some everything. And that's what we have to do. Switch it up. Start your own routine. Start your own tradition. One of the things that I really like to say, and then I want to hear some thoughts and ideas from others of what you can do differently, is when we talk about there's always hope. I believe we can always have hope in the midst of whatever it is that we're going through. That's half the battle if you have hope, if you have faith. So you teach hope when you give hope. You may not have a lot, but when you can talk about that hope to your children, you teach it when you give it. And you learn hope when you receive it. When somebody always talks to you, this is the way it is now, but guess what? This is not going to be like this. Look, 2 years from now, it's going to be different. Things can be different for us. Hope for the future. Love. You teach love when you get it. You learn love when you respect it. There's some people that don't know how to love anybody because they've never received it. But in the atmosphere that you're in, if you're here listening, if you are engaging, I heard one of the parents talking to one of the, I don't know who she is, if she's a teacher, if she's a site manager, and he's talking about so-and-so misses you. They really talk about, you know, the whole thing. That's love. That child knows love because someone gave it to them. And they know how to love. They know how to, so they've been taught how to learn love through their parent, and their parent they've been able to say, whoever that sister was, they're like, yeah, I know you miss her and you're going to see her one day soon. And pretty soon you're going to see her because you missing school or that type of thing. That's teaching love. And now that child knows how to give it because she has received it. So that's true for love. That's true for respect. That's true for hope. And if you find someone, a child, a parent, a someone who does not know how to give it, that's because it's never been given to them. So find something lovely to give, whether it's a word or whether it's a thought. So I want to hear from you. Before I tell you a little bit of where I'm from and what I do, I want to hear thoughts and ideas from any parent as to what you think you can do, or someone else, or advice someone else can do if they don't have a lot of money and not be stressed out for the holidays. You can type it in the chat or you can say it out loud. Say it loud. Yeah, baby. Do we have any givers?
My parents, don't be shy.
And also, if you have any questions, then you can ask your questions also.
Or any suggestion that you want to share with us too.
I learn from others, because you might give me an idea that I can do with my grands. Who was the person that the parent was talking to and said that their daughter missed them?
They were talking to Mama J. They were telling Mama J that.
Oh, Mama J. Mama J. Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I haven't seen Mama J in 500 years, but I miss her too. So. Anybody have any ideas? Mama J, look, we're to also talk about stories. Children have awesome memories. And sometimes if you can tell a story, I remember when you were three years old and you used to climb on top of Uncle Sonny's back and he would give you a piggyback ride. Do you remember that? Yeah, I remember that. And have them to tell their own story. Then draw a picture about. My granddaughter is 6 years old, soon to be 7. The last time she went to see my mom in Syracuse, she was 3. When we went to check on my mom in Syracuse in October, she remembered the kid. She didn't remember the living room. She walked in the kitchen and she was like, oh, I remember this. We had ribs. She remembered the food. So there's stories that we all have to tell. So I want to hear what other people have to share before I get on to the next part. You can type it in the chat, but I love to hear your voice. Don't make me call on folks. Don't make me have to call on you. I'll call on you. Those people hiding from me. Don't be hiding from me. Bianca, what say you? Come on, Bianca, you got this. Either ask a question or share something that someone can do for the holidays that doesn't cost money. Come on, Bianca.
I've been thinking about because you did say all the artistic things that I probably would do because I do art stuff. So,
what kind of art stuff would you do different than the snowflake thingy?
I would probably just do like cutouts of like Christmas, like have them trace reindeers. We can cut out some reindeer, draw Santa.
So holiday things.
Yeah.
And either put them on a tree or a tree, or put them in a window.
Yeah, definitely on the window. Hang them up in the house. You could hang them like, if you have a Christmas tree, hang them up around the Christmas tree. What I wanted to do, but it did not work out, was draw candy canes and hang them by the door to make it like make it like a candy cane lane, but it didn't work out. So that's another idea. Also like if you can't get like afford to buy like the gingerbread house stuff, you could get some brown construction paper, make them draw their own gingerbread house, and then just glue it together or tape it together so that they can create their own. Yeah.
Wonderful. Hey, and use the dollar store.
Yes.
Buy the the graham crackers. Buy them crackers in the
dollar
icing,
store, yeah.
whatever. Make use of that dollar store. For real, for real. And make when I talk about, you might be feeling down because you're missing someone in your family, make a greeting card for the people that deliver Amazon. For the post office, you're going to the pharmacy, that type of thing. Going to the doctor's office, drop it by the fire department. the firefighters, the whatever, station number, whatever. Those kind of things are really good things. Thank you, Bianca. So, you know, you got me thinking of other stuff too.
And now Bianca got me
You're
thinking
welcome.
that I do a lot of baking with the kids around this time. And like you said, I love the dollar store, okay? But then we can get so much of all the baking stuff at the dollar store. So it's, you know, it's affordable. But the most important part is like we spending quality time together, and we, you know, we just creating, you know, creating things, and let them, you know, we'll do bake off type of thing, and then, you know, do award of tasting it and things like that. Yes, I'm big on that. So we'll, you know,
Wait,
we'll
hold up, I
blind
gotta
test
write that down. You give the award, see now? Ooh, I love it.
Because it's like baking championship, stuff like that. So yeah, we each do our own little baking and then cut it up, put it in things so no one knows who's what. And then, you know, usually my husband loved to be the taster and, you know, be the
He's the
judge.
judge.
And
He's the
stuff.
judge.
Yeah, and then we use like fancy glass to drink apple cider. And it's just make it like a, you know, whole just like fun time. But I find that, you know, my daughter is 17 now, my son is 13, but those are the memories like they remember the most. It's like, oh my God, are we gonna do bake off? You know, are we gonna do these things? Like it's just the spending quality time versus, like you said, doing like the you know, the expenses and stuff.
That's the real gift. That's the real gift. Spending that quality time. That's the real gift. Holiday season or no.
Mhm.
That's definitely the real gift. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Bianca. Look at Bianca got us started. She can prime the pump. Thank you. Now, Bianca, are you a staff person or a parent? Or both?
I'm a parent. I would like to become a staff as well, but I don't know if I could.
Oh, Bianca,
Yeah.
we are looking for all type of staff. We have many open position. I am going to put in the chat box the email to HR for you, so you
Okay.
can go on and get the link to our website. So you
Okay,
can
thank you.
see what you qualify for. And
that?
thank you, Gina, that was a wonderful question. See how it lead us to
That's
something
what's
else.
up.
I have a question about that. What are, like, I know that you have positions. I'll look at the link once you send them, but what qualifications should I have to apply?
So it all depend on what position, because like we have like some position that only require high school diploma, and then we have position, you know, all the way up to master level open. So.
Okay. So I have my master's degree, but I guess it's based on like what you actually got it for, correct?
Okay, yeah, so it depends, because we have mental health position open, we have family, you know, family advocate, which is like social worker.
Okay.
We have health position. So I don't know what field degree in, but I'm sure we have something for you, Bianca.
Okay, thank you. I'll check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna message you now.
See what happens when you volunteer just to say a couple of words? You get a job. Well, I wish you well, Bianca. Thank you for your thoughts and ideas, and thank you for just thinking to speak up and ask the question, because
Thank you.
it's a beautiful thing. And who knows, there might be somebody, you ask a question, somebody else may have been thinking the same thing.
Yeah, true.
So there might be somebody else that says, you know what, I love children. I can't be around children for more than my own for a certain period of time, but I love to do what is valuable to help them to be the best that they can be. So maybe I can work in a library, or making, not necessarily for, you know, Alliance, but for some, you know, just sparks all kinds of ideas through conversation. Anybody else want to share anything before I go to the next? I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, in case you haven't figured it out already.
I'll share a little something. I'm very artistic. So I do an ornament actually for my nieces and nephew, and I'm the godmother of 7 of them. So they each get one ornament a year, hand painted by me.
Oh,
And
nice.
my expectation of them is that they continue that tradition with each other. So we have, everyone in their house has their own collection of ornaments. And if we cannot put it on our tree for whatever reason, because we're both very particular decorators in my family, the idea that I actually suggested to them, which I do for Halloween and for Christmas and for any excuse to put ornaments up, I've actually shown them how to cut little branches off of any tree, or even go to a park or anything and just grab it and pot it.
Yeah.
And actually use that as the tree to put the ornaments. So all of my nieces and nephews have their own little ornaments presented in their own little tree. So we each take a picture, and that's part of the tradition that we keep a scrapbook in. So that's what I want to eventually leave them with whenever I decide to no longer be here. They can actually keep it going. So they will have a scrapbook memory of all of those traditions.
And so they will carry that on. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then who knows, 10 years down the line, they may do that with a twist and add their own flavor to it, you know?
My niece is already doing it. My niece
really?
already added her own. I'm like, okay, I've intrigued, and I've inspired some artistic talents to come out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, because everybody has their own little twist on it. They're adding pictures. They're doing 3D versions. And I'm like, okay,
nice.
I can't even touch this. I started the idea. I can't even touch it. I'm like, okay, perfect.
See, we build the foundation and they take it from there. We're the springboard to their ingenuity in so many ways. So thank you, Gloria.
You're welcome.
All right. This is where I work. This is where I work. This is, if you ask my siblings, they will tell you I have been a therapist since I was able to talk. I have always been the go-to person, no matter what was going on, no matter who it is, just so they can release, because I'm not going to say I never judged, but I didn't act in that judgment. I may have said, well, that was stupid. Why'd you steal that? You know, in my mind, but I didn't tell them that. You know, I just listened, and they were like, well, do you have money to help me out? I do, but you got to work for it, you know, that type of thing. So, but I've always been the person that somebody listens to. So I did not go to school to be a clinician until 10 years ago or something like that. I waited until after my children went to college, and then after they had their children, and then I poured into their life, and I said, okay, Gina, it's now time. And I've been wanting to do this since I was 18, and I'm now 63. So I think I was 60 when I finally got my master's degree as a clinical mental health therapist. I did my internship at Child and Family Guidance, and then I was hired there. And so I worked there as a mental health clinician. You may have seen this flyer around, and one of the things that we really want to do is to be able to engage parents and children of parents who have children ages infant to 5 years old, and to focus on that population. Child and Family Guidance, all children we receive, but there's a certain amount of training that some of us have received to be able to work with the very young ones. And I love our children, but there's something special about those babies. Something special about the babies. So this is what, you know, when we have parents who have children and they have behaviors that parents are like, okay, I'm at my wit's end, it's stressful, I'm already stressed out, and we already, COVID is this and that and everything else, and where can I go? You know, then we want parents to know that, you know, here's an opportunity for you and your children, where we use play to be able to engage, so that you can understand the children's behavior and how you can engage them differently, and how to work with your child if your child are exhibiting or showing behaviors that are like, okay, I need more than what I can give right now. let's see where I can go. So we want parents to understand that they put the stressors that they're dealing with, to be able to put it into perspective, to understand that a lot of this is normal, it's not unusual. It may not happen with every single child that you meet, but your child is not the only one in the whole wide world of America that are, showing these type of behaviors. We want to be able to give supports to the parents, the caregiver, the grandma, the grandpa, whomever is there, to help them strengthen relationships with the children, to understand their behavior, to convey hope is very important, and understand, okay, maybe your child is acting this way or has these behaviors because of something that has happened in the past. Recognize that and look at now. What can happen now and what can happen in the future? So that's part of what I do as a clinician at Child and Family Guidance Center. I am the lead teacher for the Children's Training Institute in Bridgeport, and I'm a national trainer for the Children's Leadership Training Institute, who works very closely together with the Parent Leadership Training Institute that deals with civics and democracy. We have children that end up doing community projects, starting things in their school. One person, once she graduated, she ended up being volunteering at the White House, and I had to write a letter for her. All types of things. They start their own. A 5-year-old was the keynote speaker for her graduation. And 3 months later, she ended up starting a community project at her school at 6 years old, because she realized that there were children in her school that did not have coats. And she recognized that I have an answer to this problem. We can start a coat drive at 6. So these are so children are my forte. That's what I love to do, writer, director, all those kind of things. And I incorporate a lot of what I do, a lot of who I am in what I do. And that's why I'm happy with what I do, because I can be who I am and it makes a difference. So I don't know if anybody have any questions about where I work, Child and Family Guidance, and what I do, but I just wanted to make sure that I put that little plug in. I worked for ABCD, like I said, 30 some odd years ago, my very first full-time job. And I've been connected ever since. So whatever it is that I can do for Alliance, for those who are new and say, ABCD, what's that? No, Alliance was ABCD before, but I've been connected for over 30 some odd years. So I'm here to serve as I can. Any questions? I'm ready for you. Bring it on.
And if you don't have questions now, if questions pop up later, so please feel free, to let anyone from the mental health team, myself, Dawn, Gloria know, and we will get in touch with Gina. So what we're going to do, we will send out the PowerPoint that Gina shared. We will send it out. Yeah. We'll send out also the recording, so then so if you later on feel like you have a question, please do not hesitate. But I want to take this time to say thank you so much to Ms. Gina for this wonderful presentation. And also thank you for parents. I know everybody's busy, and I know some of you were at work and you took your lunch break to be with us. We greatly appreciate that. I appreciate the site managers for blasting it out. Mama J, thank you. Special thanks to you for joining us. So thank you so much. Dawn, anything you want to add? You're muted, Dawn.
Just wanted to say thank you to Gina. That was so wonderful. And thank you for sharing your PowerPoint. We'll be blasting that out. And also, we're going to send this your presentation out again for parents who may not have been able to make it today, so they can view the recording of it.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
My
Gloria,
pleasure.
anything you want to add, Gloria?
Just want to say thank you, Gina. It was a pleasure. I'm glad we got to see your PowerPoint. I was looking for the visuals. Like, what are the visuals? I know she's talking about something. So thank you so much. It's always very, very fun whenever you come around. So I really appreciate it. And thank you for all of the ideas.
Thank you.
There's definitely stuff that you said And even the way you nickname your grandkids, I'm taking that.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I love that.
I'm adding a twist to that to my own, because I feel like I'm a grandmother too. So,
There you go.
godmother and grandmother, so I'm gonna take that and run with it. And definitely, I always do. I speak very highly of you in particular because I've spoken to you directly before, and I can tell by the way you present the kind of quality of what you're bringing into therapy. So when I do recommend child guidance, I always speak of you. So hopefully. A lot of the referrals do go to you, but I know that the parents and the children that are recommended in receiving services, the feedback we get is very positive. So again, thank you for the collaboration, and I guess happy holidays.
Yes.
Happy holidays to everyone.
And happy creating.
Yes. And don't forget to be de-stressed.
Yes.
Right? As much as possible.
As much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Mama J.
Bye, Gina. Bye, Gina. Nostalgia. St. John, remember St. John's Church? All the way back then. Yep. Bye, everybody.
But thank you, Mama J. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Karen.
sweetheart.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Have a blessed holiday.
You too. You
Stay
too.
safe, everyone. And we're looking forward to, in the new year, doing more training with Gina. So if you have different topics you would love to see, please share with us.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Dawn and
everyone.
Gloria, can you stay on, please?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Go lay down.
I think we still have a couple of people logged in.
Go lay down.
Let's see if I can. Maron, if you still there, and Francine, you can log off, please. I'm trying to